Okay, so Derek update 3. I have some news. We know, or we think we know, what's wrong with Derek. And it is not nearly as bad as we thought. So let me explain the story. So basically, I got a phone call this morning from Hazelmere saying, we haven't taken it apart yet, but we've just taken the tank off and found that the spark plug isn't in. It's been blown out. But it hasn't just been undone blown out, it's taken the threads with it. However, we have hand cranked the engine over and it seems fine. So I was like, right, I'm getting down there for when you get the thing apart. I'll have a bit of video so I can show you a bit. Here he is, Derek, in bits. And this is the problem. If you look here, ripped all the threads out. And that may be all it is. Which would explain why it died, why it backfired. I pulled the clutch in really quickly thinking, shit, this doesn't sound good. And the noise it was making, which was the air being, you know, sucked in and out of that hole. And when I tried to turn it over, it didn't seem like it was doing anything. There was no compression noise or anything because it was turning over, but there was no compression because it was so open. I mean, I'm surprised I didn't hear air sort of going through the through that hole when I tried to turn it over, but then I didn't have my helmet on. So it is nowhere near as bad as we were thinking. However, it is going to cost money to fix. So I am eternally grateful that you've helped me with that because I have no worries. It's like, okay, we can do that. So what's going to happen is we're going to get the part that needs to go to the machine shop, have them drill out the old threads, and then they put a sleeve in to replace it. It has been done before, it's doable, it should be fine. Then we've got to get a new gasket. That's slightly tricky because it's a 440. We're trying to work out which kit we fitted before to get the gasket again. That's okay. We don't know final costs, but I'm hoping 500 quid is worst case scenario. Which is amazing, considering how much people donated, what we could now do with what's left. Oh, it's real windy, should we get behind it? So, we don't really know everything until next week. There'll be a Derek update 4 next week, hopefully. But it looks like Derek is definitely fixable. Why has it done it? Well, yeah, okay, it's a 400cc engine that's been over pressured from spec by 10% because of the cylinder, because of the bore increase. And also, someone could have done something with the, you know, could have maybe slightly cross-threaded or... So Derek should be back on the road relatively easily. I cannot see, I'm going to have to pull over in a second. I cleaned my visor before I left and then it got covered in salt and I wiped it and now I can't see a thing. It's just a complete smear. So then we're led into a set of questions, which is what is best for the future? For the miles I need to cover, Derek, I'm probably just going to destroy him. So what do? Do I fix Derek and sell him and put the money together with the money that's been raised and buy something, you know, a road-oriented bike that's much more capable? No, this is not the turning I want. Much more capable, you know, of doing what I needed to do, and then I lose the supermoto in my life, which it's a real want rather than a need. I do, you know, I mean, I need a bike. I feel all those people said you don't need a bike. I need a bike like someone needs a car. I have to get to work. My work relies on me having a bike. I need a bike. All of my work relies on that. So, yeah. But anyway, or do we fix Derek, buy a second bike, like we were planning to before, but I just couldn't afford to buy the bike. I can probably do insurance, shouldn't be too bad at all, actually. And then I've got 2 bikes for the channel, which makes it very interesting. We can then bring in some people who are more interested in sport, well, not sports bikes, but, you know, road bikes, and then supermotos. I've then got a bike, or a supermoto for doing the green laning and the off-roading and the messing around and the country lanes in the summer and all that sort of stuff, which is brilliant. And then I have another bike, which is great for getting around. Like, trips like today, just sat on the motorway, like when I just want to get somewhere. For instance, when I go to Loomies, there's 2 sort of methods. There's I want to just get there, and that's when I go on the A3, and there's the I want to have fun while I'm getting there, and then I go the twisty route. I'm going to try and do something about this visor. It's ridiculous. I've only got my Krieger R3 backpack on the sort of, you know, the waist pack, not the full backpack, and I keep the full backpack, the visor cleaning stuff in there. It's definitely on the outside. It's this salt and crap. Is that salt? Yeah, that's salt. the hell happened? I just walked into fucking Mordor or something. It's got all middle-aged. Yeah, and I'm going quite slowly, by the way. There's a reason for that. I've only got a couple of bars of fuel. I forgot to fill up when I was up that way, so I thought I'll make it back on 2 bars, surely. But if I go fast, I'll use a lot more of it. I've noticed. There's lots of bikes out there, because I would look to spend 1,000 to 1,500. Not the full, like, whatever's left over after Derek is fixed. I think it'd be good to keep a little bit of reserve, plus it'll probably help with insurance. But having 2 bikes would mean I'll be able to keep the Supermoto and not destroy it. It's basically what Jake's just done, really. Yeah, I do this. I'm on an SM and I'm like, oh, I know, let's go on the motorway. And then I get on bike that's perfect for the motorway and I'm like, yeah, let's go on the twisty roads. I like making things do things they're not supposed to do. But I don't like making Derek sit on the motorway. Actually, I feel very bad about it. Now, obviously, a lot of people are going to have a million different ideas about what I should do now, what I should buy, what I should do with the money, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to just do what's right for me and do what's right for the channel and what's sensible and not stupid. And I think that will appease most on the very essence of why people donating was to help fix Derek and help with the channel, which I'm massively grateful of. And there's still people donating. I should say at this point, because I haven't done an update, okay? The fund is now at £2,500, which basically means, yeah, I'm blown away. I mean, I've said all my thank yous and people have told me to shut up and just accept them, you know. But I am massively grateful, and I think you realise that. But let's enjoy what we can do because of it. So say the bike needs 500 quid to fix it, which I don't think it will. There'll be £2,000 left over. £1,000, £1,500 for a good, you know, it doesn't have to be some super quick, super, you know, flashy thing. This is a perfect example. It's not the funnest bike, but it is very good at doing what you need it to do. But I think we can find a middle ground that's a bit more fun than I find this bike. But then having said that, since the tyres were changed, since everything else was done, it is growing on me. Not in the sense I'm like, that's the best bike out there, but in the sense that it does well. And it's comfortable, and it's quick enough, and all of these things. Oh my god, am I going to end up buying Divi? I don't want to buy Divi, do I? As you can imagine, my mind's going in a million different directions right now, and I'm just going to not think about it too much today, because it's New Year's Eve, and I'm going to enjoy New Year's, and then it's a fresh start. It's, you know, we won't know much more till the end of next week when we start getting the bits in, to get the bike back together and see if everything else is okay. But fingers crossed, it was just that, and I'm sorry that I thought it was seized, but everything that happened kind of made me think that it was. And even Dave, Biker Dave, who gave me a lift, when we sat it still and tried rocking it, it didn't sound good. It sounded weird, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So maybe that's because the piston, the spark plug was out. It was the way it was moving more. I don't know. When I found out it was just the spark plug, I was honestly like, oh please no. And then when they said that it's ripped the threads out, I'm not saying, and I wished it wasn't, but I was almost glad to be like, no, at least there is something actually wrong with it, because I kind of feel bad because of that, but I shouldn't be, because I always say, oh yeah, I'm talking too much. People said, I think you overthink how much people analyse and try and find fault with you. They're actually supporting you and are happy for you to do the things you're doing, which I need to remember. And it is something, oh Jesus, can't see through that. And it is something I realised because of the donations thing. To me, I realised what, and it's still now you're going to sound big-headed, not what I mean to people, but how much the channel and the videos, how entertaining they must find them, and to be as generous as they were, and still are, and you know, and to do all that, you obviously don't hate me. And I know that sounds stupid to most people to hear, but it's because I'm not a self-loathing person, but I have problems, okay? You know about the problems I have, and this YouTube gig has done a lot for me to have some appreciation of myself, as it were. But then, you know, you say that too much and all of a sudden you're a knob. Well, thank you, because it really did change the way I saw, the way that I thought people saw me. We're back in the fog again. It's another fog vlog! Oh my god, you can imagine how cold it's got down here. I was actually, like, really comfortable getting to Hazelmere. I was like, oh, this is lovely. It doesn't even feel slightly cold. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's getting thicker again. This is going to be getting covered. loads of people are going to make loads of suggestions about what we should make a second bike if we do go down that line. That's only if we do. There's always an option to just fix Derek and put the money aside and just use it to help run the channel and, you know, do a few bits to Derek. But if we did go down the second bike line, £1,000, £1,500, don't want it to be super uncomfortable. The main purpose of the bike is to cover miles, so this is actually great, and that's why I'm like, yeah, but I'd like it to be a bit more exciting. And I think an old SV650 naked would be great, but the nakeds are hard to find. And then there's other things. There's a Honda CBR 600F, and there's another, the phasers even. It needs to have some cool factor, it needs to be able to sound nice, it needs to cover the miles well, because remember, this is a slightly different outcome. Let's be shallow about this. If I rode a bike with a really quiet exhaust on it, and then you compare it to someone who gets a bike that's, you know, really loud and brash sounding, the person with the loud brash sounding exhaust is going to get more views. And that's only beneficial to the channel. But some people do watch for the bike and just like to see someone riding a nice looking, nice sounding bike. Divi's, see, the one downfall of Divi for me is it's not very exciting. It looks alright, actually it's that picture of it in the snow, I was like, yeah, it's got some nice lines on it. If you change the tail tidy, you know, loud up the exhaust, but it's the suspension, it's set up for being comfortable on a straight line, but it makes it quite bouncy, and in corners it gets this little bounciness to it, and it's just, it doesn't fill your confidence. But then the suspension when it's old, so this is the problem. I could talk about this for days from different angles and aspects, and I have to say the idea that my subscribers would buy me a second bike is kind of like one of the coolest things you could possibly have happen. You know what I mean? It's like that classic of like a brother buying a brother a car, or some buying a mum a car. I've done that. When I got my payout from my claim, I bought my mum a new car. Yeah, it wasn't the best thing in the world. It was a Mercedes, but it wasn't. Oh yeah. I've just realised what petrol station I've come into. I have to get off of my bike because she's off your bike because she can't trust you. Oh, the other reason I probably wouldn't want Divi is I actually gave this a bit of a clean the other day because it was like, oh, it's a bit grubby, let's give it a bit of a clean. You know, it deserves it. Good old divs. Next day, covered in black, just smothered in crap. If any of you own a white bike, I feel sorry for you. I knew it was bad, I didn't realise it was that bad. I mean, in the summer it's not going to be so bad, I guess, but Jesus. White bikes. Don't do it, people. Not if you ride in the winter. As good as they look. How's Lamb Chop going to deal with it? You know, he's got his 701 that's white. That's going to get filthy in seconds. He's going to have to take the baby whites with him. Oh no, he does, doesn't he? That's right. I hope I've covered all the areas, but that's kind of what the outcome is. The forward plan now is this. Get the head to someone who can drill out and sleeve that spark plug hole. Should be doable, shouldn't be a problem, fingers crossed. Shouldn't be too expensive either, actually, but we'll see. That's number one important thing. Then it'll be, I think what we can also do is rejet it again because it was running a little bit lean. We've rejetted it once before, but we're going to go off another size maybe. While it's apart. It's so much easier to get to everything, obviously. Pile all of his innards back in him and try and style him up. I guess that's the plan. And I see no reason that isn't going to be the case. As long as we can get that thing, sleeve, put in, insert. It will be massively cheaper than trying to find another head anyway, so that's why we're going to go that way. So yeah, there you go, there's the plan. I've just been waffling on for ages. I hope, maybe it's interesting to you, I don't know. Obviously massive thanks goes to Hazelmere. They're being so good with this, and they're basically like, just look after Divi as long as you need it until we get yours sorted. Okay, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like. Thank you for anyone that donated. The donate link is still on the Derek update video, and I'm not asking anyone to donate anymore. I didn't ask anyone to donate in the first place, and I do want to take it down. Everyone thinks I've crashed. I didn't crash, buddy. I was just taking a winry photograph from my Instagram. Instagrams. This will be fun. Oh no, not fuck. It started sinking. It's not an SM. It's not an SM. It's definitely not an SM.